Hello, my name is Saeed. I'm a student of Master Program for Wilfred Laurier online. And the reason for this record is to show you my project that I have completed for iOS programming. I name my application Atlas Bank. This is a light version of the banking application. And I picked this logo from some other website. I did a little bit of modification on it and I reuse it. So I will put the link where I have taken this logo in my report as well. So I'm gonna double click on that. Okay, so it's showing the username, password for the login page. If you already have the credential, you just need to provide it. If you don't have, in this case, I assume I don't have, then I need to register. So I will click on register button and then it's gonna ask me username. So the username has to be 8 till 32 characters. So we'll put username 1, password. I'm just gonna pick some password. And then the first name and last name, the only thing which doesn't accept is the 2 syllables. So you shouldn't have a space between your first name and last name because I wanted to make it as straightforward as possible. So I would put, for example, Sam, and then the last name, it's going to be Halter, for example. The SSN, there's a validation. Actually, it has to be 9 digits, and then the email test.test at gmail.com. Telephone number 416, and then the unit number, and then the street. So for the state, there is the picker view, which you can pick, and then there's a validation, of course, on postal code. So L5V6. Let's hit the submit button. If all the validations passed, we go to the next level. So the telephone number is not valid because I put 7. Yeah, 416. One number is less. Okay, everything is good. Now we go to the security question. This question will be used if we want to reset our password. So we need to keep this with our username actually. In what city? For example, this one. Something you should never forget, and number of accounts, for example, 2. And then submit. Here we go. So the username which we have created was the username, and then it will be shown automatically here. And then I'll put the password and then hit the sign. Okay, as soon as you're signing, you will see the nice dashboard here. It's based on the clock or based on your time zone. It will show good evening, good afternoon, or good night. And then since there is no account at all, it doesn't show anything, and it's suggesting you to press the plus account to create an account. So on the bottom you will see a toolbar, a couple of toolbars. The first one, it's actually pointing you to the dashboard. We have pays, when you can create or declare your pays. We have bills, when you can pay your bills, and we have transfer. So since there is no accounts, obviously none of this is not working. So if I go to the pay, I can still create a pay, but there is no basically account to pay the bills. So you still can, without any accounts, obviously you can create a pay. So in the manage pay, all you need to do is to say, for example, gas bill, and then the account number that represent you in the, for example, gas utility station like Enbridge or whatever. 3356. So add pay, and then it's gonna ask, are you willing to add? Yes. Okay, this one is added. I can add another one, hydro bill, for instance, and then some account number like this, and then add pay, Okay, this one is added. So I have two pays which I added perfectly. Okay, I will go to dashboard. So nothing has been changed. If I want to go to bills, basically there's no account, so I'm not able to pay any bills. Same for the transfer. Okay, I will go back to dashboard and then I will click on account. Account name is the name of the account. It's just the alias. It's just a nickname for account. So it can be for business, for home, or any kind of this. So I would say business, for example. This is for my business. So what type is that? Checking account or saving account? So I will put the default checking accounts, and then the default currency would be CAD. It could be USD, Greater British Pound, and Euro. We need to provide the basically we need to provide the initial deposit, and initial deposit in it's $1 and above. So you cannot create the accounts. This is my business logic. So even though in Canada, for example, you can open an account without without any money, depositing any money, but for this app, I decided to choose $1 for initial deposit. So I would say, for example, $100. I have $100 bill, so I'm gonna initial the $100 deposit and then submit button. So as soon as you create, you will see a nice card which actually shows the number of transactions. You will see the name, of course, and then the type, checking accounts, total balance is $100 Canadian, and then the account number. So the nice things about account number is they come random generated of the 8 digit, and then the last 3 digit represents the currency. So I choose the 000 for CAD, 001 for USD, 002 for Greater British Pound, and 003 for 3 for Euro. Okay, so there is no transaction at all. That's why you will see 0. If you want to edit this, you would just click on this, and then the only thing is editable is the account name. So I just want to change it to, for example, new. All right, nice. Let's create another account. This time business, but this time it's going to be USD. So again, checking account, USD accounts, and then I'm gonna deposit $50 USD accounts in my USD. Okay, here, now if I scroll, I see two accounts here, two cards here. And then nicely it's showing checking accounts, total balance $50, and account number. Again, another random generated the number, and then you will see 001 that represents the USD currency. Okay, now let's pay some bills now. So I talk about pay, nothing changed. And then for the bills, you just click on bills, and then you find the pay name. It's automatically showing the first in the picker, and then you can change if you like. So let's pay for gas bill. Automatically it will show the account number associated to that gas bill, and then you need to choose your bank account. And here it's just showing the Canadian bank accounts, because the assumption is that all of the pays are Canadian and they accept Canadian dollar. So we don't want to withdraw from our US dollar and then do the conversion, etc. Having said that, the client has to have a Canadian, at least one Canadian dollar account in order to start. So that's going to be the rule for that, and that actually banking system. So you choose this one, and then you're gonna say how much you're gonna pay. So let's say if you just put something which is more than what balance you have, for example, $10,000, and then pay now. So you're gonna say due to insufficient balance, transaction failed. Nice. Now let's change it to $10. You should be able to pay. So it's just showing you a notice, and then if you're sure, you place this. Okay, now you will see number one. So there's one transaction here, and then you see the transaction date, timestamp, amount, and then the description. And then you will see the small hash here. This is payout. So this is an outgoing transaction. So we're gonna do the transfer now between two accounts here. So you will see from accounts. So from accounts could be Canadian to any other accounts or vice versa. So I'm gonna test with uh, Canadians, and then I'm gonna send it to other accounts. So here's the rule. So for the from, the assumption is you're choosing from your accounts in that bank, Atlas Bank in case. And that's why you will see a picker view, and then that picker view showing all your accounts in the Atlas Bank. But the two accounts could be any account internally inside the Atlas Bank, or could be accounts from your friends, from your partners, from someone else outside the Atlas Bank. That's why you don't see any two accounts for picker for the two accounts. Then you just need to type to whoever you want to send. And in this case, in order to show you the transaction properly, I want to send to myself to the USD account to see how it looks like. So I will choose this. So you can either copy or just write it down. So the trick is I will copy this, and then I will choose the Canadian one again, and then I will paste it. So easily you can have a notepad and then do this easily, and then the amounts. So here what is saying is that I'm going to transfer 20 the base accounts, currency of the base accounts. In this case is the Canadian dollar to US dollar. So 20 Canadian dollars is going to be based on the ratio. It's going to be 13 or 14 or whatever. So as soon as we click the transfer, it calls the API, and that API is free again for 250 per month calls. I will put the API with the key in my report as well, and then I used about 50, so you should have about 200 something like that to use. So once I click on that, it says you are transferring $20 to this accounts, and then it's showing the exchange ratio, which is 0.73, and then the equivalent amount is $14.68 in US dollar. Okay, once you click this, in the Canadian side, you will see one transaction, which is going to be $20, and in the US side, you will see the receiver for the, and then that's why you see this logo has been changed. Okay, and that was all. That was all I wanted to share. Thank you very much, and thanks.